All right, so Hollywood has been kind of turned inside out by this. But, you know, there's another Hollywood out there, a young Hollywood, where young actors and producers and directors and writers are going around the studios, going around the system. We're going to meet Jesse Kove. Actually, his father has been a working actor and is one of those faces you would absolutely know. And he's always wanted to get into the movie business, but he's got a new movie out, and he did it in a very different way, which I think in the future is probably not going to be quite so unusual. Coming up next.
KFI AM640.
KFI AM640, Bill Carroll. Okay, so we were just talking about Sony and how probably no one in Hollywood is going to want to work with them anymore after that leak. That's how the big studios feel about their talent, their directors, their actors. There's a lot of arrogance there. But there's a new generation of filmmakers out there that are trying to do it on their own, trying to do it differently. I think it's actually, I'll ask our guest in a second here if he agrees with me. I think the movie industry is about to undergo the kind of turmoil that the music industry has already been through, where people have found a way to create music and get it directly to an audience. And it's changed the whole model for distributing music. I think the same thing is starting to happen with movies. And to talk to me about that is a kid who grew up in Hollywood, part of a Hollywood family. He's dating a famous woman, even, I hear. He's just surrounded by Hollywood, but he wants to be an actor and a filmmaker, but he's doing it on his own. His name is Jesse Kove, and his father, Marty, if I held up pictures, you'd say, hey, I remember him from Cagney and Lacey or Karate Kid. Or, I mean, Jesse, you really are one of those Hollywood kids, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I grew up in here in Los Angeles around the entertainment industry, so absolutely.
And what's your opinion of the entertainment industry, watching your dad go through it from up close your whole life?
You know, it's constantly changing all the time. There's something new that's happening. There's a new way to do things. There's a better way to get it to people, an audience. There's always something new and exciting. You know, it's very creative, and it's also extremely fun and very rewarding.
Do you agree with me that it's kind of like what happened to the music industry already, where guys discovered you could record music in your own basement and put it online and just see what happens next, and you kind of go around the whole corporate structure?
Right, and for the record, so you know that I helped produce this movie for, you know, I have 3 other producing partners, Mark Mantrek, Chris Monti, and Richard Zelniker, who's the director of the movie As Night Comes, that I helped produce. And Richard was the driving force the entire time. And, you know, he was the one who was the inception of this. I mean, he called me up one day and just said, hey, let's just go and do this. Let's get this done. And
how expensive it is to do something like that on your own and make it look good?
You know, you can... you know, you can shoot a movie on an iPhone. If the content is good, for anyone else who's listening, you can shoot a movie on an iPhone, a camera, you know, a small Canon or anything like that. If the content's great, you know, people will want it. People will enjoy it, no matter what, no matter how poor it looks or anything like that. You know, if the subject matter's there, people will enjoy it.
It's all about the storytelling.
Exactly.
Words, right?
Exactly.
It's a compelling story. On the other hand, you're probably not going to want to watch something that was shot on an iPhone at the ArcLight, you know, on the big screen.
Right.
But, and so what was your goal then when you set out to do this? Okay, we're going to make this movie. We're going to do it on our own. What's the expectation, or do you have any?
One of the goals was, you know, to share this story that deals with, you know, it's like a modern day Outsiders, and it deals with a lot of, you know, teenagers today and bullying, and it's as much a movie for parents as it is for teenagers, because, you know, the home life is such an important role for a child. So when I was talking with Richard, you know, he really wanted to have the world get a glimpse of this honest little reality of life that, you know, not a lot of people have shown. And, you know, we wanted to impact people with all that.
And we have the trailer. Todd, can you play that for us?
Those guys you hang around with ain't going anywhere.
No one in this town respects us. Not the cops, not the teachers, not the gangs, no one. Hang out, huh?
What do you think Ricky would say if he saw you with me?
I don't care.
You don't need him, Sean.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Girls like Sarah don't care about guys like us. One day she will. We're the ones who prey on the weak and hurt people.
You can't be any part of this.
You one of us, or you one of them.
Get in and get out of here, okay?
Did you?
Ricky, this isn't a game!
our new generation.
As night comes, and it's interesting, Jesse Kove, one of the producers and actors in the movie, we are the new generation. The way you're trying to get this movie out there, you're part of the new generation too.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know if that was deliberate or not, but that kind of struck me. So, you know, it looks like a Hollywood movie, and it sounds like a Hollywood movie, and you managed to do all of that outside of the system. So, but what happens now? How do you get the word out there, and how do people get to see it?
Well, it's actually available. It's a great story. You know, we shot the movie in three different phases. We started shooting the movie with no money, and then we ended up we shot some footage. Richard and Chris, one of the producers and the editor, they sat in the editing studio for weeks at a time, and they started editing a little teaser, and then we shopped that around, and then we were able to get investors, and then we finished the movie with the money that we had, and then when we finished it, we were able to we were able to send the movie to different distributors. We also had a sales rep, Frederick Demy, who was lucky enough to get us was able to negotiate a deal to get us a small limited theatrical release. We put it at the Laemmle Music Hall in Beverly Hills, and we were able to be picked up by Gravitas Ventures, which is an amazing distribution company. So right now we're actually available on VOD, on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Xbox, Vudu. It's everywhere. So you can rent it or buy it. I think it's $4.99 to rent and $12.99 to buy.
That's just an amazing story, to take that kind of risk and get out there and start to shoot it and then impress somebody enough that you get money. And now I can go home tonight and watch that movie. I mean, that's an extraordinary thing. And I guess it shows you anything can be done. But hundreds of thousands of people want to do this, but very few people actually get around to do it. I mean, who is the motivator in this? Because that's what it takes. Somebody with drive and enough vision to actually take a chance.
I'm so glad you asked. Really, it's I have to give so much credit to Richard Zelniker, who's the director and the co-writer. He actually co-wrote the script with a 16-year-old boy at the time, who my father introduced him to help him with some writing. And he took him under his wing. They came up with the script together. And, I was driving on Hollywood Boulevard, funny enough, and Richard called me and said, let's shoot this. And throughout the entire, 6.5 months of shooting, Richard was the driving force the entire time. It was very hard.
Must have times when you guys were like, what are we doing here? Like, this is not going to work. We're wasting our time.
Sometimes it was, me or someone else saying, oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. But Richard would never take no for an answer. And he was able to get it done. And, it's so important to be attached to someone like that. I was lucky enough to be in the circle with him. I consider him a genius. He's extremely talented, and I was very fortunate enough to be a part of that. And
as always, though, with anything new, anything cutting edge, there's always someone who's a genius and also a little reckless, right? A little crazy.
Yes, exactly. Yes, outside the boundaries.
Right, and without those people, new things don't happen.
Right.
So what does it feel like then to be able to say to your friend, yeah, watch my movie, it's on iTunes today? I mean, that's got to feel like a great accomplishment.
It does feel good. It feels really, really good. I'm very excited and proud to be a part of this, and I'm proud to have this movie under my belt. It's a wonderful, wonderful film.
So would you do it that way again, or would you hope now somebody sees it and goes, hey, come and work for us? We're Sony. Nobody wants to work for us right now.
Yeah, we're actually aiming for Sony right now. We're trying to get in now when everyone else is leaving. So
this is the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, good to meet you, Jesse. That's a great story.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. The new kids in Hollywood. That's how a lot of people are trying to do it. Jesse Kove actually made it happen. And I'm stumbling around here. I'm lost for words. This kid is so handsome. He's out there to see you, Jesse. Brian took some pictures and put them on our webpage if you don't believe me. Hey, you know what? Good night to watch a movie, right? It's going to be raining all day and it's kind of cold and damp outside. So rent this movie tonight and watch it. Help a young, aspiring actor and filmmaker out. Can we call him aspiring now that he's actually made a film? I don't think you can. He's made it. He's done it, yeah.